Is my screen visible to you? Is it visible? Please say yes or no. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So in this histograms, we discussed that it talks about two or more variables and a time series kind of data where years are shown on the first column, income in the second column, expenditure on the third column, and then we find out the difference between income and expenditure. If expenditure is more, then we have put the minus sign. If income is more, then we put the plus sign. And then we try to plot the curves here by drawing the curves. What we mean is that we will draw years on the x-axis in this case, and income, expenditure and difference. There will be three curves depicting these three data. So on the one diagram you are showing all the three curves. That is why it is known as histograms, because it shows about the time period and the three variables: income, expenditure and the difference. So you can draw it on a graph paper and see that how you get these curves. There will be two curves in this diagram. It may be two or more variables, and then if you are given a time period, then you can depict it through histograms. Now after this, the important graph which you have to do is graphs of frequency distribution. Now, when we talk about graphs of frequency distribution, that means we talk about the discrete series or a continuous series in this case. Now, if you read these lines, frequency distribution of all types are represented by means of graphs precisely for the same reason for which graphs are prepared for other types of data. Such graphs are called frequency graphs. That means where you represent frequency, that graph will be called frequency graphs or the graphs of frequency distribution. But which type of particular type of frequency graphs would be constructed for representing a given set of figures would depend on whether the particular frequency distribution is discrete or continuous. As we were discussing that day, that you have to identify that whatever data you have been given, whether that data is relating to discrete series, that is two columns will be there. One will be x and one will be frequency f. But there will be no class interval. That data will be called discrete series data. And continuous will be, if you see, we have written that is discrete series is one in which an item cannot assume any value in a particular class interval. That means there is no class interval when we talk about the discrete series, and the value of each item is fixed and definite. On the other hand, continuous series is one in which an item can assume any value within a particular class interval. That means a class interval will be given, and on the basis of that you are showing the value, or you are showing the value of a data. Then it's called continuous series. For example, they have written here the example: the number of rooms per house would give a discrete series, as the rooms can be in whole numbers only. So rooms cannot be, in points or in class interval. There can't be a range. So that is why this will be a discrete series. But a series relating to heights of a group of students would give a continuous series, as within a class interval the height of an individual may be any figure. It may be 154, it may be 154.2, it may be 154.5. So heights will relate to continuous series data. But in actual practice, the discrete series data is more popular, as most of the phenomena relating to ordinary walks of life are measured in well-defined units. The fractions are conventionally eliminated. So discrete series are usually in the shape of bar frequency diagram or discontinuous curves. Continuous series are usually shown by means of smoothed curves. Now, the following types of graphs can be constructed to represent frequency distribution. And the first type of graph is bar frequency curves, which is used to depict discrete series. The second is frequency polygon or discontinuous curves. इसमें क्या होगा? The plotted points are joined by straight lines, like with ruler you can do it. The curves are not smooth. The such curves are used to represent discrete series. That is why they are known as discontinuous curves or frequency polygons. And the third is continuous curves or smooth frequency curves, जिसमें we join the points with a smooth curve, and these curves are used to represent continuous series. So the first two types of graphs which we have just done is bar frequency curves and frequency polygons. They are used for discrete series, whereas the last one is continuous curve or smooth frequency curves. They are used to represent the continuous series. Now, if you see, this is the example of showing the bar frequency curve, where you have the number of rooms in whole numbers like 1 to 9 is given, and the number of houses are given here, and you have to draw it in a diagram. So what you do, you depict the number of rooms in one column and number of houses on the y-axis, number of rooms on the x-axis. See, number of rooms on the x-axis 1 to 9, and number of houses, you have to find out which is the minimum and which is the maximum. The difference has to be equal minded. So we are doing it 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, and then you plot these points. Now what we do, for example, one room. Now one room is of say 170 houses. So you are pointing it towards 170. That means it will be below 175, maybe 5 units below that. And what you do when you are making the bar, you can take, let's say, 0.5 before it and 0.5 after it, or whatever graph you have, whether if you have inches graph or you have centimeter graph, you can find out the gap, and that gap has to be common for all the bars. That is also one thing which you have to keep in mind. जैसे अगर 1 लिया है आपने, तो 0.5 पहले का ले लीजिए और 0.5 बाद का ले लीजिए, तो ये आपका एक बार बना देगा till 170. Similarly, 2 rooms are for 183. Now see, 175 के ऊपर हम चले जाएंगे, 183 will be slightly above it. Now you don't have to be very accurate, because it's by observation it should be evident that you are plotting 183. So for 2 rooms again you are doing the same thing, 0.5 before and 0.5 after, and you make a bar till 183 and you join it. So it's called bar frequency graph, where you are showing the frequency distribution through a bar. You can take the help of a ruler here, because it's not smooth curves, it's the bar frequency curve. Now bars can be horizontal and vertical bars can also be there. You can show it in any one of the methods. Either you make the horizontal bars or you make the vertical bars. And this data can be shown by a discontinuous curve also. For example, here, if you see this data, they have written the value of a variable in the first column, 1 से लेकर say 16, and you have the frequency given here. So it's a discrete series example, because you don't have a class interval, you have x and you have f. So when you plot it on the diagram and you don't make the bar, but you join the points, then this is the breaking up or discontinuous curve. So that is why it's also known as frequency polygon, right? Because you are joining the points and with the corresponding frequencies. So it's called the frequency polygons. Then this is the example of, say, age distribution of a group of people, and you have class interval and you have the frequency here. So say we start with 8 to 10, ये column आपका कट गया है, you can write it in age in years, and say start from 8 to 10. So 2 का difference लेके you can write the class intervals here, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 14, and so on till 22 to 24 here, and then 24 say you can see it from here. Now this data can be plotted in the shape of either a frequency curve or a frequency polygon. See, this 15A figure is the figure of frequency curve. When you plot these points, when you join these points, you get the frequency curve. And similarly, this is showing the age distribution of a group of people. See, this is a frequency polygon 15B, which is a smooth freehand curve. You are not using the ruler, you are just joining it with the free hand. And if you want a smooth frequency like this one, this can be obtained by this. So this is the unsmooth curve, and this is the smooth curve. This is the discontinuous frequency polygon, and this is the smooth frequency polygon. That's the only difference between B and C. And A you have already shown, where you have drawn the bars, and then by joining the highest point of that bar, for example, we start from here, and then you join these points, then it is giving you the frequency curve or the bar graph. So class interval, maybe you can show the same way, like you have written 8 to 10. So 8 to 10 will be it is a joined bars, like you don't have to make the separate bars as we did earlier. So this will be a joined bar which you can make by drawing it on the highest point. For example, 8 to 10. Now 10 पे आप एक point बनाइए, और 10 से आपने जो first नंबर ऑफ पीपल की एज है वो 12 लोगों की है. सो 10 से थोड़ा सा ऊपर आपने बनाया, ये 12 हो गया. सो दिस विल बी 1 पॉइंट. Then 10 to 12, because it's continuous series, it's continuous class interval, so you don't have to disjoint it. Like earlier we did a discrete series. Discrete series में जब हम बार बनाते हैं तो हम separate बनाते हैं, बट कंटिन्यूअस सीरीज में जब आप बार्स बनाते हो तो वो जॉइंट होता है, बिकॉज इसका जो हाईएस्ट क्लास इंटरवल है वो इसका लोएस्ट है. That is why you don't have to separate it. And then you join the highest point of every class interval. Just 10, फिर 12, फिर 14, and you just make the curve. So that will be the frequency curve, or the through the bar diagram. Continuous frequency curve, which you can show. And this will be the frequency polygon, which may be called the smooth frequency curve or the continuous curve, which is in C diagram. So this is basically the graphic representation of the data, which is in your course. You don't have to do like normal frequency curve, because that is particularly for psychology students. So for economics, we don't do it. We will just limit ourselves to frequency polygon and normal frequency curve. So this completes our this topic of diagrammatic and graphic representation of data, which we have in your course. Now, if you want to ask anything, otherwise I'll send some sums to you for practice. You can take the graph paper and try to draw it, and if you want, you can click the photo and send it to me on the in the Google Classroom. I can see that. After this, we need to see the syllabus. Back to you. What is the next topic which you have? If you can see the syllabus. Anybody can see the syllabus and tell me?
One dimensional, two dimensional diagrams.
Okay.
And
Yes. So
picture and
we have some left here. Bar diagram we have finished, one dimensional and two dimensional. Then pictograms, cartograms. Oh, we have to do this. Then unvariate and bivariate frequency distribution, histograms, frequency curve we have done, and ogive curve. Ogive से median निकालने को भी आता है. अच्छा, so we'll do it in the next turn because I need to prepare a PPT on this.
okay.
Okay, so we will do this. Unit 1 is complete now, so you can write a question on this, that what is the difference between primary and secondary data, and how, what are the methods of collecting primary and secondary. ये एक long answer आ सकता है, so prepare an answer on this, that what is the difference between primary and secondary data and the methods of collecting primary and secondary data. We'll have your internals, we are planning still in the making of the schedule, but most probably we'll have it in the first week of November, so we be prepared about that. For and this question, please prepare for your internals also, as well as presentation, because as you know, you will have your semester continuous internal assessment or midterm assessment, what you call, sub which has to be submitted to the university as a part of your exam. So be very clear now that don't be absent for these internals, because they are mandatory for to be added in the university exams. If you miss it, your straight away 20 marks will be deducted, because 80 marks का आपका थ्योरी पेपर होगा जो कि यूनिवर्सिटी लेगा, और 20 marks is for internals, which is divided into 10 for theory and 10 for presentation. So we are still in the making of the schedule. As soon as the schedule is finalized, we'll be posting it on your group, maybe within a day. Like, start preparing for that. That's my advice to you. So this long question, please prepare for your internals. That is the difference between primary and secondary data and the methods of collection of primary and secondary data. So we'll close down here, and then we'll start with the rest of the things in the next class. For environment also, I must tell you, for because अभी आधे लोग हैं आधे नहीं हैं, so maybe tomorrow then I'll be able to tell you. Okay. So that's all right. Any other thing which you want to share? Otherwise, I'll close the meeting for today, because I need to prepare a PPT for the rest of the topic.
Ma'am, DN enhanced book will be sufficient for this paper?
Yes, yes. DNL Lens is more than sufficient, because it is the most authentic book. बट अगर आपको समझ में आ रही है, अगर इंग्लिश थोड़ी सी भी ज़्यादा हो रही हो, तो फिर जो यहाँ यूनिवर्सिटी में प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है, शुक्ला और सहाय की किताबें, जो सिलेबस में भी हमने आपको शायद दिया है, रीडिंग लिस्ट उसमें है, दैट इज ऑल्सो क्वाइट exhaustive book. So any one of them, but Elhance is the most comprehensive and most useful book to be retained if you want to put in your career in economics.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
द ओनली थिंग इज जो आपका 4th यूनिट है शायद पता नहीं इस सेमेस्टर में होगा या नेक्स्ट में होगा, क्योंकि अभी तक एनुअल चल रहा था. दैट इज व्हाई आई नीड टू सी द सिलेबस एवरी टाइम. Earlier we had the statistics theoretical part like national income statistics and population statistics. नहीं, इस बार नहीं है आपका. नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर में अब ये डिवाइड कर दिया गया है सेमेस्टर्स में. तो अभी अमिता इज डूइंग योर यूनिट 3 आई सपोज, मेजर्स ऑफ सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी, मीन, मीडियन एंड मोड. So is she doing this?
Yes, ma'am.
So let her finish this, and then unit 4 will be your dispersion. So and then correlation. Correlation is also there in this semester only. So till this, then next semester maybe they'll introduce those theoretical parts of national income statistics and population statistics, agriculture statistics and industrial statistics, which is purely theoretical, but in context of India you must understand that what has been the national income statistics in India. तो उसके लिए हो सकता है hence will not suffice, क्योंकि फिर but then you get lot of data on Google itself, so you don't need that kind of textbook for your course, because that is quite theoretical, but current, you have to focus on current there. So you take either DNL Hans or Shukla and Sahai. SP Gupta is also there. SP Gupta. SB Gupta is macroeconomics. SP Gupta is statistics. हिंदी में भी है इनकी, तो जो हिंदी मीडियम अगर स्टूडेंट्स हैं तो. बट इट्स गुड दैट यू हैव टेकन स्टैटिस्टिक्स, बिकॉज नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर के बाद आपका मैथ्स भी आएगा, तो नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर में आपको स्टैट्स के बजाय मैथ्स करना होगा. तो इट इज़ गुड बिकॉज इकोनॉमिक्स विदाउट मैथ्स एंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स do not take you much far. So and बहुत जगह तो कंपल्सरी ही है मैथ्स होना 12th में, अगर आप इकोनॉमिक्स कर रहे हो तो एंड दैट इज व्हाई यू आर ब्रेव एनफ. प्लीज ट्राई टू सॉल्व एज मच, प्रैक्टिस मोर सम्स, क्योंकि जितना प्रैक्टिस करोगे उतना ज़्यादा आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल बढ़ेगा, और एक टाइम लिमिट के अंदर आपको सॉल्व करना है. तो सिंपल कैलकुलेटर समटाइम्स इज अलाउड, साइंटिफिक तो बिल्कुल भी अलाउड नहीं होता इस पेपर में, और सिंपल भी कभी अलाउड होता है कभी नहीं होता है. सो दैट वे यू हैव टू जस्ट प्रैक्टिस मोर सो दैट यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट. कभी कभी आते हुए हमसे गलती हो जाती है बिकॉज हमारी प्रैक्टिस नहीं होती. सो दैट इज वाई आई विल एडवाइज दैट यू प्रैक्टिस मोर एंड मोर सम्स. आप लोगों को बुक्स मिल गई, खरीद लिया आपने किताबें?